Upside Down Magic, Sticks and Stones, Chapter 1. When Nori Horace turned into a coat, she had the body of a black kitten and the head of a tiny goat. She could jump from the floor to the kitchen counter. She could root through the laundry and nibble on yummy socks. She was good at chasing butterflies. Her coat was a pretty awesome animal, actually, but Nori's Aunt Margot didn't like it. Coat Nori ate Aunt Margot's flowers, and her carpets, and of course, her socks. Yesterday morning, Coat Nori ate all the Fruity Doodles breakfast cereal, plus the box it came in, plus the tablecloth, 2 loaves of bread, and a part of Aunt Margot's couch. Nori was a fluxer. Her magic talent was that she could change into animals, but most fluxers transformed into ordinary creatures, like cats and dogs and rabbits. Nori was different. She could become ordinary animals, but they didn't stay ordinary for very long. Aunt Margot had specifically asked Nori not to flux into a coat today because Margot's boyfriend, Figs, was coming over for dinner, and Margot wanted the place to stay clean. Also, kids weren't supposed to do magic without supervision until they grew up and got licensed, as if anyone followed that rule. Nori loved Aunt Margot and didn't want to let her down. She planned to stay in plain old girl form. Brown skin, bright eyes, big hair, lucky purple jeans, new red sneakers. Aunt Margot had left early for her taxi job, so Nori was alone. She was standing on the porch of Margot's small clapboard house in the town of Dunwhiddle, waiting for her friend Elliot. She figured this way, even if she did flux into a coat by accident, the house would stay clean. Nori and Elliot usually walked to school together, but today turned out to be different. Today, Elliot was late. Nori noticed a butterfly flapping overhead and wondered if she could change into a coat really quickly and then change back. It felt so good to chase butterfly as a coat. No, 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 Nori told herself. No coat this morning. No unsupervised fluxing. The butterfly fluttered above her face. No, no coat. Don't flux. As with most people, Nori's magic had bubbled up when she was 10. Before that, she'd gone to ordinary school, as everyone else did. Starting in 5th grade, kids went to magic school. Her new school, Dunwhiddle, was a public magic school. That meant anyone could go there, unlike the private academies, which were expensive and hard to get into. Dunwhiddle offered classes like math and literature and gym, as well as standard magic classes for the 5 categories of regular magic students: flyers, flares, fluxers, fuzzies, and flickers. Flyers flew. Flares had fire magic. Fluxers turned into animals. Fuzzies could communicate with animals. Flickers could become invisible or turn other things invisible. But not every kid had regular magic. Nori didn't, for example. So there was a problem for schools. Where should they put the students whose magic was unusual? As an answer, Dunwhiddle had started offering a new class. It was called Upside Down Magic. Nori's father had sent Nori to live with her aunt just so she could be in it. There were 7 other 5th grade kids in the class. Like Nori, all of them had something wonky about their talent. Only they weren't supposed to say wonky. Their teacher, Ms. Starr, wanted everyone to say different or unusual instead. Nori wished the kids in the regular class would follow that rule, but most of them didn't. Lots of them called the UDM kids wonky, or they called them flops. A group of 5th grade flares were the worst. They called themselves the Sparkies, and they teased the UDM kids as much as possible. "Look, there's that Wonko who turned into a skunk elephant and smelled up the whole cafeteria," they told anyone who would listen. And yes, Nori had turned into a skunk elephant earlier in the year. She had smelled up the whole cafeteria. But did the Sparkies need to rub it in? No. Nori bounced on her toes. She turned her head from right to left, searching for Elliot. Instead, she spotted a skinny, dark-haired boy skidding around the street corner and running her way. He was flushed and sweaty. He wore a baseball cap and a navy shirt with white lettering that read Cider Cup Police Squad. It was Bax Kapoor, another UDM kid. "You're going to be late," Bax called as he dashed by. Yikes, he was right. "Hey, wait!" Nori called, sprinting after him. Bax looked over his shoulder but kept going. Then, whoa! His feet flew up, his head whipped forward, his arms windmilled, and he went down hard. Bam! Nori cringed and slapped her hand over her eyes. She peeked through her fingers, already knowing what she would see. Yep, Bax had turned into a rock. That was his upside-down magic. Bax was a flexor, but he didn't flex into animals. He flexed into a rock. He did it every day, and pretty much never on purpose. Always he turned into the same enormous gray rock. Well, once he'd flexed into a leash, but that was an exception. Every other time, enormous gray rock. Nori raced over. "Bax, are you all right?" She was met with silence, since Rock Bax couldn't talk. Also, Rock Bax couldn't flex back, which made Nori feel really bad for him. It would be dreadful, she thought, to flex into a rock, with no mouth, no arms, no ears, and to be stuck like that. For him to change back, somebody had to take him to the nurse's office for an icky green potion that did the trick. Nori's shoulders sagged. Today, she would have to be that somebody. They were both going to be really late for school.